Run.
All right, good morning, everyone. 9 o'clock, we'll get started with Commissioner's report this morning. We'll have an invitation and a pledge. Everyone, please your eyes. Commissioner Ward.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you've given us and for the lives that we enjoy. We thank you for how you bless us as a county. We ask your blessings upon our nation, upon our state. And Lord, we just ask that, Lord, you would give us the ability to place you first in our thinking and that we'll truly be one nation under God. Lord, we ask for your blessings during this meeting today. And Lord, that you will grant us wisdom and knowledge to carry out the business that we have to tend to. And we ask for a continuance of the rains that you have sent, that our springs and creeks and wells and ponds will all be filled, and we'll give you the glory for what you do. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 9:02. A quorum is present, noting that Commissioner Montalvo will be running late this morning. He should be here about 10:30 or so. So we'll get started with our departmental reports. County agents reports attached on your iPad. Mr. Allen, his report. AE Center is also attached from this event. Kinney County Attorney. What do you guys work?
Well, we've been working on a response to interrogatory on the lawsuit against DHS, and we've been working with all the offices trying to get some data together to provide for a motion for a preliminary injunction, and I think it's looking pretty good. And the lawyers that we're working with are been really helpful, and so have all the offices in the county. Trying to get the expenses that have not been reimbursed from Operation Lone Star to show standing in the case. So that's going pretty well, but I'll know more news on that probably in a couple of weeks or so.
Auditor. Gentlemen, do you got anything for us this morning?
No, we're just continuing through.
Okay. Working on learning to figuring out where stuff is. Clerk, what's that? Nothing. Okay.
It's good right now. This month, we won't have any district courts here for the month of November. As with all this stuff going on next month, next week, of course, I'll be closed from Tuesday through Friday. And we will
Okay. Community center, everything seems to be okay. We had 100 roundup this weekend. Had a pretty good turnout there. Everybody seemed to be happy with the turnout and the results. Knock on wood, we didn't have any restroom issues, so that was nice to have. Mr. Montalvo and Road and Bridge put some timbers some telephone timbers in the back there where we've done all the trenching and stuff, and the rain being so soft. They lined those up, this kind of a little curve there to keep people from driving out there and getting stuck and so forth. And then Alfred and his crew were over here yesterday and working on putting the gas line in and all that stuff. Working on getting that moved, put the meter inside the fence. And then Kehano was over here as well yesterday working on prepping the date. Just today and tomorrow, AEP is supposed to turn the power off and work on pulling the wire and stuff for the generator to the community center. Constable report, nothing. Kinney County, detention center.
Everything's going good. Our AEP was 423. The current check is 419.
23 average daily and 419 for this morning. All right. Thanks, sir. EMS. Here this morning, he's got a report attached.
We have our monthly report for October. So in October, we had a total of 41 runs. Out of those, 15 were non-transports. We transported 23 of those. 2 of those went to Uvalde. 21 went to Del Rio, to Valverde. 2 of the calls were for football standbys, and then we air medical put one on the phone. Other than that, things have been pretty run of the mill. Out of the 41 calls last month, 3 of them were border related, and 3 of them were second calls. So about average for what the last couple of months have been. Actually, the second calls went down a little bit from the previous month. Update on the mold that was at the station. I talked to Pablo this morning. He's pulled some of the spots where there were mold. He still has another spot, and hopefully he'll be able to finish by the end of this week. Just depends on if he gets pulled away from other stuff.
Okay. I got a text message yesterday from Miss Conley regarding an incident that young lady had yesterday during Buster Services on Buster DeMail's Graveside Services. They ended up taking the lady to EMS directly from the graveside, and they were phenomenal. EMS was phenomenal, so quick in response and calm and compassionate. So professional and communicated very well. They transferred her to Valverde, to Del Rio, and her husband was on the way, so they're running tests. We're so blessed with our fabulous EMS men and women. So that's just wanted to share that with everybody this morning. Got that text yesterday after the service. Mr. Gilby, EMC, Emergency Management Coordinator. Mr. Gilby's here this morning. Right here, introduce him. Good morning, Sheriff. Just to introduce him, so everybody, he's come on board to fill in as our EMC. He'll be going in November, right, to the sewer deal. Be going in November to OSS, on-site sewage facility deal. They'll be going that in November, picking up that certification for this Mr. Gilby. Coming in this morning, introduce himself. Grant updates. I have an attachment here from Miss Westbrook this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Here, it's back there. On the Operation Lone Star, well, let me start at the first. Operation Lone Star. The final financial status report for this last grant will be submitted will actually be submitted this week. There's probably $350,000 approximately that will be requested for reimbursement, and then that grant will be closed out. It ended in August, and we have 3 months to do the liquidation on it. So that will be the last financial status report I file. I've asked for all invoices by the 15th, and then I will file it by the 18th, 20th at the latest. So I've worked with Tim to get invoices on that, and then a couple other invoices that need to be turned in on that. The Stone Garden, grant from this current grant, which ends the end of February. Last month for September, we had $44,281.41 that we collected for the month of September. And then October's is filed this month. It's always filed a month behind, but I don't believe that was reported last month. What was reported in there? It was for $22,000 for augmentee, $20,000 for the county deputies, and $1,800 for fuel. Stone Garden grant, the upcoming grant, the campaign plan has been submitted for next year. And that grant will be approximately $37,000 less than our current Stone Garden grant. That grant starts 1 March. The local border security grant was awarded and accepted. We had requested money for a scope truck and 3 vehicles, and we did not get that amount of money. We didn't get the money for any of that. Pending grants, Operation Lone Star 203, which started 1 September. That was awarded on the 1st of November. It was accepted on the 1st of November, and they activated it last Thursday. So that grant is about $16,000 less than last year, but I don't see an issue with that. I've let everybody know that it's been activated. There's money in there for 63rd Judicial District, so I've notified on it Judge Andrade's office and let her know the portion that's in there for them. Criminal Justice Division grant, and then a body show grant, and then the school resource officer grant, that has not been awarded yet either. That also started 1 September. We should have those with them being backed up and all the grants starting to be awarded a week ago. We should have those awarded by this week, I would imagine.
Okay, what about number 4? On your list, Stone Garden.
Oh, a fragmentary order. It's called a FRAGO, and each year we monitored exactly what's paid for overtime for the county deputies and then the augmentees. And if some of them are not working all of their hours, then we're able to request what's called a FRAGO through the Border Patrol. It goes to Homeland Security for approval to move money or use money in another area. And the FRAGO was submitted 2 months ago, approximately 2 months ago. It's for $99,800. And it is to cover 2 handheld X-ray devices. They're called mini Z backscatters. They run off of an iPad. The amount covers the iPad, covers the devices. Border Patrol has been asking us to get those for 4 or 5 years, and we haven't had the money to do so. I talked to a deputy, the grant administrator deputy in Maverick County last week, and he said that they were able to find cash inside of a hubcap or inside of a wheel well. So they will find drugs, they'll find weapons, they'll find cash. But we're going to get 2 of them, so we'll have those available. They will be ordered this week, and it'll probably take 3 or 4 months to get them in.
Good.
Okay, the cost for each one was $49,300, $49,400, I believe. Questions on the current OLS grant? All of our positions are covered. There's only 1 item of equipment in there. Mostly it's supplies and personnel in that grant, the majority of them. Anything else?
Any questions on the first one? Things for the grant lease, okay? Indigent health, there's a handout there, an attachment in indigent health. Judge's office, for the month of October. Total money intake was $1,475 from my office, and all of that had to do with the community center contracts, private events and so forth. Justice of the peace. Nothing today. Library, nothing. Road and Bridge has an attachment there for you for their month of October. where they worked and what they worked on and so forth. Did we get the position filled for you? No. Still no, nothing. Sheriff.
Good morning.
Morning.
Jail population right now, we're still sitting at 10 out of county. All over, everybody's now in Hondo. We're going to be transferring 2 over to the Texas Department of Corrections this week for just to the state jail, and probably 2 later on in the month. Last week, or the first part of the month, we ran a short operation down on Highway 277. I thought with the upcoming election, we'd be seeing more traffic down there. Still a lot of truck traffic, but the smuggling, illegal stuff was very minimal. So I think DPS is doing a pretty good job of keeping them Maverick County, which is a blessing for us. We've been discussing our scope truck operation. Our scope truck scope itself is good, but it's very old and the parts are getting harder and harder to find. So we've been trying to work with Border Patrol and working on the grant, trying to get us a new truck, but I don't know if that's ever going to be in the works again, because the new scope itself is close to 800,000. The grant money is just not there. So we're going to keep trying to see what we can do on that end. Traffic has slowed down, but with the election happening, I don't know what we're going to be seeing in the next couple. Rumor has it that there is I call it a tsunami, but there is a big wave of foot traffic coming up from Mexico. Intel says it's between 5,000 and 10,000 heading this way. So it's also saying that most of it's going to be headed west towards like El Paso, New Mexico, Arizona. Been working with the jail commission, talking about the holding cells for the new building, waiting to hear back from them, because we depend on how long we hold, what we're going to do, if we're going to have showers or not. So I don't know if that's going to be a possibility putting over there or not. So we're just going to wait and see what Begley comes up with this week. I had something else on my mind. I can't remember what it was. We're still sitting on the GO is still sitting on probably 150 or so, or probably close to around 150 gang members, but that's normal for a facility like that. Most of them are vices, which is a big prison. But other than that, everything's pretty normal. I did a presentation with the Nutrition Center. I did it with the Republican women the other night on the scams that's going around. I think Mark got a call. Department of Homeland Security had a warrant for his arrest. And if he would kindly send them $5,000 worth of Walmart credit cards, he would be off the hook. So, but that's one of the things, and I'll probably be reaching out to the school also, because I think some school teachers are getting some of these. So next time they have a school training day, I will present that to the school also. So if y'all have any questions. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. Tax assessor, nothing this morning. County treasurer. Nothing, okay. All right, we'll go into items 4 this morning, our action item, discussion item. 4A this morning is discussion of court canvass of the November 5th, 2024 election result.
Morning. Hey, Brent. So yesterday, Martha brought me some provisional ballots that we had gotten from the elections, and I had Ida Ortiz and Rachel Munoz come up yesterday in order to open them. We need to have a Democrat and a Republican with us to verify everything, make sure. So we actually got two votes more on some of the races. So on election day and early voting, we had 1,435 people vote. With the 2 more, it came out to 1,437. Of course, the presidential race stayed the same. Donald Trump in our county, he got 1,063 votes, and Kamala got 346. Republican Ted Cruz got 970. And this is going to be with the one votes that were added to him from the provisionals. And then a Colin Allred got 390. Tony Gonzalez got 1,039. And Limon got 275. For the railroad commissioner, Christy Craddock got 946. And Catherine Colbert got 285. Justice Supreme Court Place 2, Jimmy Craddock, 984. And Deshaun Jones, 308. Justice Supreme Court Place 4, John Devine, 962. And Christine Vin Means, 320. Justice Supreme Court Place 6, Jane Bland, 941. Bonnie Lee Goldstein, 303. Presiding Judge, County Criminal Appeals, David Schmidt, 959. Holly Taylor, 323. Judge of Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 7, Gina Parker, 950. Nancy Mulder, 304. Judge Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 8, Lee Finley, 969. And Chika Anayam, 297. Member of the State Board of District 1, Board of Education District 1, Michael Travis Stevens, 964, and Gustavo Rebles, 323. State Representative District 74, Robert Garza, 924. Eddie Morales, 389. Justice Fourth Court of Appeals District Place 2, Vela Meza, 540. Justice Fourth Court of Appeals District Place 3, Todd McCray, 926. And Cynthia Marie Chapa, 329. Justice Fourth Court of Appeals District Place 4, Lori Massey Brissett, 931. And Luz Elena Chapa, 316. Fourth Court of Appeals District Place 5, Adrian Spears, 912. And Lisa Rodriguez, 335. Justice Fourth Court of Appeals District Place 7, Lori Valenzuela, 1005. Okay, we're getting to local races now. 63rd District Judge Roland Andrade, 1018. 63rd District Attorney Suzanne West, 1026. Brent Smith, 1019. Brad Coe, 1088. Martha Peña Padron, 967. Mark Ferret, 300. His right-hand opponent got 17. Dennis Dodson, 186. County Constable Daryl Earwood, 1045. Kinney County Groundwater Board. Wes Robinson for the county at large, 722. The write-in for Mr. Hibbets was 342. For the city at large, Alfred Gonzalez and Matt Bland was a very close race. Richard Gonzalez got 596. Matt Bland got 597. One vote. Board of Directors, Place 4, Perry Menley, 215. Richard Barkles, 116. And then the Fort Clark Mud at large, David Palmer, 640. Barbara Eckenrod, 566. And that was it.
All right.
Just to let you know, Monday, the office will be closed in the morning as we're going to do the partial manual recount in the state. Okay.
Good.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that was just a discussion and report only for the canvassing of the votes for November the 5th, 2024 election. Item 4B, approve and disapprove the sale of 3 rifles and 1 shotgun from Kinney County Sheriff's Office with Drury's Gun in San Antonio. The firearms are as follows: an M1 carbine, serial number AA 61135, M1 carbine, serial number AA 54753, a Ruger Mini 14, serial number 182-00020, and a Winchester 12 gauge shotgun, serial number L1816049.
Doing an inventory of the rifles that we had. The 2 M1s, they're pieced together from God knows how many weapons. I had them appraised a couple of years back, and they're offering $175 a piece. They're old. God only knows how long they've been in inventory. The Mini 14, years back when that was the standard long rifle issue, they're still good guns. Everybody's gone to an AR platform, so really they're no longer needed. And the shotgun, it's not going to say it's antiquated, but it's seen as better guns. I meant to write the prices on there, but they've offered $175 a piece for the 2 M1s, $300 for the Mini 14, and I think $150 for the shot.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on getting those out of the inventory over there at the sheriff's office? Approved. All right, motion made by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Barrett. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried again. All right, item 4C this morning is to accept and approve a donation of 2 27-inch all-in-one desktops, 512 gigabyte computers to the Kinney County Sheriff's Office from Patriot Mobile.
Patriot Mobile came in first part of the month and donated 2 all-in-one monitor computer type scenarios. They're good for like we're our vehicle seizure girl 6, and for just bare minimum, like we're keeping our warrant stuff categorized in our evidence categories. They're free. That's about all I can say about it. I'm not a computer guy, so that's about all I know about them.
They're not very big.
They're not very big, but I mean, for the inventory that we're keeping, it does take up a lot of space.
Do they have enough memory to put all our software stuff on?
I think so. I mean, the only thing we really need on those, the capability of doing email and an Excel spreadsheet.
So we've gone out and see. All right, motion to accept by Commissioner Dodson. Second by Commissioner Ward. My only thing would be is like they're outside of what we generally would buy. The concern there is,
Yeah, they're not quite.
They're not going to work for you. It's like move them, get them re-inventory and move them to like the library to be used as a public computer at the library or something like that.
I mean, like I said, I don't know.
If they're not big enough for us to put all our software and virus protection and stuff like that before we go too far. Let's say if they're not going to handle just the basic stuff we want protect.
Okay, shall we take a look at them and see if not? I'll be more than happy to put them at the library or.
Where we like a public access point library.
Okay.
You're right.
Coffee here.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I'd like to plan.
All right, hold on, don't leave. Don't leave, Sheriff. You're up again. Item 4D this morning is discuss and approve a 3-year contract renewal with Connexus, previously AlertSense, for the multi-channel alerting system used by the Sheriff's Office. Have a 3-year contract here for the amount of $3,325.
I think it's worked very good in the past. I mean, every time, especially when we were at that high volume where we were having pursuits 2, 3 times a day, bailouts, et cetera, et cetera. We can use it for various other things also. But if everything keeps going the way it's going, it slows down. Better to me, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And for the price of $1,000, $1,100 a year, I think it's a win-win situation.
So for 1,000 internal users.
Are we allowed to enter a contract for 3 years? Or is it only a year at a time?
But it's contract for 3 years. But I mean, when it takes for $3,300 for 3 years, it comes up to $100 a month.
This agreement's for the initial 3-year service period, effective date 2025 to 2028. The total annual service price for the duration of the initial 3-year term will automatically increase annually at 2% after the first year, as outlined as in post payments.
It'll have to be approved every year.
How many users you think we have on it currently? How many people have signed up for it?
Last I checked, there's about 300 on there.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve item D. Should it be yearly? No, well, the whole 3 years, it's for the 33.25. Right. So, and then after that, it would be approved annually. But but we're agreeing to it's a better rate for us if we just agree to 3. Yeah. All right, so moved by Commissioner Farragut, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. All right, item 4E is to approve and ratify the Operation Lone Star grant number 43760203 resolution letter. This is a resolution whereas the Kinney County Commissioner Court finds the best interest of citizens of Kinney County that the Operation Lone Star grant number 43760203 be operated for the period of September 1 of 2024 through August 31 of 2025. Whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court understands that there are no matching fund requirement for the said project grant. Whereas the Kinney County Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the state funds, Kinney County ensures the funds will be returned to the state of Texas in full. Whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court designates John Paul Schuster as the grantee's authorized official. The authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of Kinney County. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Kinney County Commissioners Court approves submission of the application for Operation Lone Star Grant, Office of the Governor, passed and adopted and filed on this date, November the 12th, 2024. Entertain a motion to approve the resolution, adopt the resolution. So moved by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. And this around for signatures. That was item 4E. 4F. Accept and approve and discuss donation of 2 desktop computers from Methodist Healthcare Ministries, Digital Equity Grant, and designate usage of computers for Kinney County Aging Center clients. Presentation by Adam Melton, Digital Connector. This event, you want to come up too?
Hello.
Good morning.
So the program itself is funded through Methodist Healthcare Ministries. I work for the Community Council of South Central Texas. I don't know if you've recently been inside the library, but I've set up quite a number of computers there. I added 2 more here recently. They are free of charge. And not only do you have the hardware permanently yours, but you also have my services free. So I have several different curriculums from which I actually go into any number of communities I'm setting these up in, and teaching classes for whatever needs these people need. And this next location is going to be at the nutrition center if you do approve it, and I will support that as well.
Okay. There, for the nutrition center for personnel to use, or the nutrition center
For the aging
Everyone.
clients to use.
clients? Okay,
Yes.
So more like a public computer.
Yes.
Nutrition, okay.
We were talking about doing just 2.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Please meet you, by the way.
Yay.
Anybody have any questions? Ms. Yvette or Mr. Melton? So moved by Commissioner Fair, second by Commissioner Dotson, to accept the donation of the desktop computers from Methodist Healthcare Ministries through the Digital Equity Grant and place them in the aging center for clients to use. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carried, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you all for your donation.
When would you like to?
Okay. I'll get in touch with you.
All right, next is accept and approve a donation of $300 from First United Methodist Church to Kinney County Aging Center to provide meals for homeless indigent clients in Kinney County who do not meet the age criteria. So that's just a,
So, and I was thinking with that, if we could create a line item just for that. I'm foreseeing that we will probably be getting more donations just for that specific cause.
let's approve it. Let's accept it first.
So moved, Commissioner.
So moved by Commissioner Dotson to approve item G, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried unanimously. All right, H this morning is discuss and approve the use of $2,160 from the countywide extra help line item to support driver custodian 2 from November 7th, 2024 through January 1 of 2025, and then reimbursing funds to Kinney County once the 2025 PDA grant is awarded. All right, there you go.
Okay, so with that, at first I was requesting, or I was asking that Kinney County would pay that that part-time for those 3 months. And then once I got my new TDA grant, then I would reimburse, TDA would reimburse Kinney County. But after reviewing my grants, I think once I receive my grant, I'll only have maybe half to keep my employee on that time of the employment. So I don't think that I am going to keep my employee on. I think I will go ahead and terminate. Well, I'll just kind of pause it for a little while until until January, and then bring her back on and then put her on the PDA grant, unless Kinney County is willing to put half of the funds to keep her on.
It's something a shortage.
Well, I only get about $2,500 to employ that position. So that only covers me for 3 months. So
the grant's about 2,500.
So the grant is about 5,000.
Okay.
So half of that goes to meals, and then the other half goes to personnel. So we might want to think about possibly utilizing all that for personnel once I do get approval of the 2025 grant. But right now, I'm kind of having a hard time just keeping this employee under my TDA grant, just with that minimum amount of money that I'm getting. And of course, she is very well needed. She's one of my drivers.
All right, so today was to approve
So today was to
the
approve.
the 2160, the countywide funds will get you from November to January 1.
Yes.
So really, you just need your a little bit of change here would be say, hey, I would like to have the 2160 for that time frame and not ask for a reimbursement from your grant to maintain your employee through.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Everybody kind of follow along with what we're asking here on this deal. It's still a doable action on the board today to approve that 2160 to be used out of countywide extra help. That's where we put in like $10,000 a year. Kind of leaves more or less about $2,000 per department per elected official to have for extra help and stuff. But so is that? Do you want to table this to clean that up and make an action item next one, or do you want to take the action today with a little bit of modification to how it's written on the paper? It's still the bottom line is still she's asking for the 2160. It's just she's asking not reimbursement, from the non-reimbursement portion of it, to not be non-reimbursement, just be a true expense on the county to maintain that employee, part-time employee.
And if not, then I will have to ask the part-timer her last day would be November 15th, because I will not have the funds to cover her. If the court, doesn't wish to pay that portion.
Is action needed in as much as the dates are beginning with November 7th and then through the January? Does it need to go ahead and be in effect part of this anyway? Or not?
That's it.
Are the funds?
I mean, I would definitely, yes, I need some kind of action right today, because like I said, if not, then her last day will be Friday, and then I won't have anybody until January. Well, actually, the grant doesn't start until February, so it's actually going to be February.
Be approved.
What's going to happen January 1? You can come back and need an extra month of wages or?
January 1, I'm sorry. So the grant will be approved January 1. Awarded. And then, but the actual grant doesn't start till February.
So what are you going to do for the month of January?
Did I not? I thought so it's November 7th through January 1. Yes, it would have to be February.
Through January to February.
Yes, sir.
And that dollar makes some change, correct?
It should, yeah.
Next 30 days.
You need to redo this and bring it back.
Yeah, it's a 2160. Is that like her monthly salary probably?
Yes, sir. So this is what she was.
So about 3 months, it would be 1,080 times 3. If we had to do, say, November, December, and January. This one?
So you're gonna do, I think it's like 6 pay period. What is my?
right.
Mhm.
So what would be the, we'd have to go into the first week of
I
February.
was
to cover
looking at,
the
I
meeting?
was looking at the paper that we have, and I think it was after that. I think it was something. I can start making her on January 1.
We'd have to add about 3 more pay periods. If January 10th is one of the pay periods for next year,
Mhm.
so January 24th would be the next pay period. And then February the 7th would be the next pay period. To get you in that, would cover you through January. Right, Becky? I'm thinking about that, right? To get, we ended here, to get this thing.
Right.
Okay. So basically, it adds three pay periods on that, and a pay period for this version is about 435 average. I think, let's do this. I think we're all in agreement to do it, but let's bring it back next on the 26th with the correct numbers.
Okay.
To get us through February the 7th.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Well, you know what I'm saying, because now the dates are wrong. One thing to correct the amount, but now the date.
Let me get with Diane to make sure, to get all the papers. So that's what she did. She did the,
She gonna get paid this week?
yes, yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have enough funds to pay her for this week.
And then we'll just know that, hey, it's gonna continue, we'll take it out, we'll can't take it from extra help anyway, but to get it corrected in the minutes and like, because we're actually gonna look at it's gonna probably be closer to 7 pay periods,
Yeah.
7 pay periods. So if we did 7 times the 435, more or less, it's gonna be about $3,050 total. To cover from November, December, and all of January. So the dates, the amount, changing the amount would have been, but now they're changing that couple of things in this here. Let's just go ahead and move it to, we'll move item H to, November 20th. Is that correct? 25th, November 25th, and we'll say 6 pay periods. And it's gonna be just for my notes here, I'm gonna say it's about $33,050.
Okay, in the meantime, what should I do with my employees, like, pause her or?
No, I would, if you need it, you're saying you need it, you okay with that? And we'll just, we're going, we'll take it from extra funds. Know that it's gonna be happening, but to get it correct on the
Right.
minutes and stuff, let's postpone it till, or move it to, November 25th meeting to get it all worded and correct, so that the auditors know how much is to be taken, the treasurer knows how much, but instead of pausing and lacking, and her pay might be a little different there because you're not serving on the 28th and you're not serving on the 29th.
So yeah, so
It'll be a
people
little bit.
will left, and if we're not considering the time that she may take off, she should
Somewhere
not.
around $3,000 probably is what we're probably thinking. So kind of figure that on your holidays and stuff, gives a little bit closer ballpark figure, but I think the consensus is that we're in favor of it. But clean it up a little bit more, have it correct, so that the auditor knows and the treasurer know, hey, this is where this money's coming from, this is how much it's coming to, okay? All right, so we'll, entertain a motion to move item H to November 25th. So moved by Commissioner Farragut, second by Commissioner Dodson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried 4-0. So we'll move item H to November 25th. And then we kind of break it down for us, like the 6 pay periods. And stuff, and kind of somewhere around at 3,000. Should be somewhere around probably a little less than 3,000. I'm trying to do the holidays and everything. So
I can do that.
okay. All right. Next is also item I this morning. Discuss and approve the remaining balance of elderly donation made by Leo's Wrecking Service to Kinney County Aging Center in the amount of $8,012.57. Fund 5-060-1700-0061 and approve the creation of a donation fund for Kinney County Aging Center and transfer that $8,012.57. If you remember last year, Leo's, it's Leo's, right?
Yes, sir.
Leo's Wrecking Service made a donation of an amount of $10,000 to the nutrition center. And she had it in her line item budget. And then in the 2024-25 proposed budget, it was removed and just put in general funds. Mainly earn interest, but she still has the funds. It just moved into general to be earned interest and so forth like that. So, Yvette this morning is asking for us to consider creating a separate line, a fund line in revenues to just reflect that year in and year out. So that's, is that, did I
Yes,
say that
correct.
somewhat
Yes, that is correct.
correct?
I just want to be able to utilize that money, go into my funds, and, if I need to purchase anything from that donation line, I can, and not come to, Diane or whoever and ask for it. They say, hey, we have 0 balance. That's a little confusing for me, knowing that I know that money is there. So I would just like to see it put back into my.
Can that money be used for the extra help or the extra money used for the help?
Well, when he donated, it was specifically for, anything for the client, food. I don't know about the, because I thought about that too, using it for personnel.
What did you say, Ms. Jones?
City restricted its donation, so when they do that, you can only use it for that specific purpose.
The line item, by creating a line item, it's just gonna let you know what your balance is.
Exactly.
Money will still be in the general funds or whatever.
But you'll still need court approval to spend the funds.
That's,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
it would increase the departmental budget.
What they can, a separate fund. And she'll just have it, she'll see the line and know where fund balance is rather than it not appearing. It'll just be in the revenue field, one of those revenue stuff. All right. Any other questions here on that one? There's none. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the creation of a fund. Is this the actual fund that's gonna be?
Yes, sir.
Fund 5-060.
Well, that was a fund that was created at the time, so I'm.
It really doesn't need its own fund. It just needs to go into the general fund and then a line item for the different departments. We don't need extra funds.
Okay,
It's not-
extra line.
Yeah, it can be a line item for departmental budget.
Okay, so and that needs to be an action report?
No.
No? Okay,
It's already set up that.
Yes.
Is there any a donation line item in?
But it's not shown.
We'll just
in
need to
my-
do a budget amendment to increase your.
But it's not shown in my,
Yeah, we'll need a budget amendment to increase.
We just need to, yeah, to put it back to where it shows in the 24-25 budget.
Yes.
We need to make, we'll have an adjustment amendment on the 25th of November to say that that line has $8,012.57. Okay, so.
well, I'll put that on here.
This would be, so there'd be a budget. Amendment. To reflect. It's $8,012. Then you'll see it on your, okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to, table that until November the 25th as well.
Very good, thank you.
So moved by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion? All those in favor to moving item I to November 25th, say aye. Aye. All right, so we cleared that up, 11:25, and it'll be a budget amendment. To reflect $8,012. 7 cents.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You too. All right. And J will be moved to executive session. Item K this morning. Discuss and approve the casting of the county's 1,197 votes for 3 candidates to serve on the Kinney County Prison Board, District Board of Directors for the 2025-2026 term. Commissioners, in compliance with from the chief appraiser of the state, in compliance with Texas Property Code Section 603J, the ballot listing candidates nominated by the voting taxing units for 3 positions to be filled for the 2025-2026 term is delivered. Candidates are Gumerlo Guzman, Marla Madrid, Herb Cini, and David Turner. In accordance with the property tax code 6.03K, requests your governing body determine its 1,197 votes by resolution and submit your recorded ballot to the chief appraiser before December the 15th. So with that being said, how would you like to cast your 1,197 votes?
You done the motion? Motion to split the votes between the grid, city and Turner.
Is that what we need, Becky?
Yes.
All right. Commissioner Dotson makes a motion to split the votes between Marla Madrid, Herb Cini, and David Turner. Second by Commissioner Fair. Turner, Madrid, Cini, and Turner. That'd be 399 votes per each. All right, any further discussion to split our votes according to the motion, 3 equal portions? That'd be 399 each for Marla Madrid, Herb Cini, and David Turner. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Have to abstain.
Okay. Note that Commissioner Ward abstained. All right. That takes care of A this morning. L, discuss and approve the use of bond forfeiture funds to pay the Kinney County Court Coordinator's travel expenses to attend LGS conference. Expenses include conference fees, hotels, meals, and fuel. On the copies. Oh, okay. Yeah, here, it's this one.
Yes, sir.
In the total amount, and then we talked about this the other day, the office to use, bond forfeiture money to pay for the LGS conference we're going to next week. For the court coordinators, travel expenses, so about to be $2,713.87. To be used out of, use bond forfeiture money to cover those. That's for the court coordinators travel expenses. We approved the clerk's office the other day. So I entertain a motion to approve those expenses to be paid out of the bond forfeiture. So moved by Commissioner Parrish, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? That include mileage, hotel, and meals only for the day of travel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. All right, this is approve and disapprove transfer of funds in the amount of $1,860 from bond forfeiture to county judges. Seminar court assistance training for grant coordinators conference and the fees and hotels and reservations.
So,
This,
1560 out of that 2700
Mhm.
is already paid for. Hours.
okay, yes, I see it, okay.
So, we'll just transfer out that. From bond for Brackett.
Okay, so the last motion, the two that items L and M together total 271387.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, my bad, guys. So the item,
Well, we still need to do approval too.
Right.
If we got it. We're out.
all right, so entertain a motion to approve the 1860, which is part of, let's make this in the motion. Transfer the funds in the amount of 1,860 from bond forfeiture. The county judge seminar court assistance training for court coordinators education conference, fees and hotel. That 1860 was part of the approval of the 2,713.87, correct?
Yes, sir. No, we just have to-
Entertain a motion to approve item M.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Dotson, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. So that 1860, item IN, it's part of the 2713. The total that's there for item L, so it's kind of related together. So we cleared that up. Item N this morning. It's an MOU. It's still here. MOU, discuss and approve memorandum of understanding between the 47th Medical Group of Laughlin Air Force Base, Kinney County EMS for ambulance service calls and interagency transfers.
So it's basically almost exactly the same, the previous MOU we had with Laughlin. Basically what they updated was the contact information on our side and their side, especially on their side, because they're Air Force, so they have people coming and going. So in the event of, mutual aid, we would provide an ambulance over there if typically Valverde EMS is the one that first responds for them when they have calls on base, but if they're not available, then we would basically be their backup. And also they would provide mutual aid on the fire side if we have any fire needs.
This MOU is good for 3 years.
I'll move to approve it.
All right, motion made to approve item N this morning by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Barrett. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. All right, item 4 this morning is disapprove, and discuss whether or not purchase of an ATV and sprayer for the Kinney County Maintenance Department. I have quite a few proposals for this stuff. Before I get into all the details, this is with Blake Ward. He said the fire department had a Polaris. They got two Can-Ams now, but the fire department has a Polaris. He said it's possible that we could maybe consider taking that Polaris and giving it to the roof maintenance department, because he says their Can-Ams are what they're equipped and use now. Polaris is sitting there. They've spent quite a bit of money on some repairs for it and everything. But if I wanted to consider, he would talk to the firemen and stuff about possibly we just maybe gave them some, transferred some funds or something, or took it, because I'm sure it's probably involved. I don't know how it was purchased. I think the sheriff's office gave them it. So I don't know if I mean, that's a possibility for us there to consider just using that Polaris. Then we just buy a spray unit for it and everything that way. Go maintenance guys can use it for music, all lawnmower weed or stuff around, a little bit of stuff like that. That's something that I'd say I'd rather pursue that. Let's consider doing that. Than looking.
Operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shape.
I think Stone Garden purchased at least one, the over list that purchased two. ATVs.
But I think the sheriff.
That might be one that's actually sure.
He's talking about when we get my first.
Yeah, I think the three that you're referring to, y'all have. You also have possession of.
This one was back in 2012.
Yeah, so I think this was the purchase before all of those.
Okay, yeah, because we've got.
So if you want, I'll just pursue, visit with the Chief Garcia and stuff and let them visit. You want to pursue that route? Okay, and I'm good with that because everything else is going to be $12,000 or $15,000 kind of. So we'll pursue that route. Chief, so you're. No, you see, Crown had, theirs was that 2023, it's 13,113. Yeah. The Kawasaki Mule 14.5 and 14.5 from Agro. I think Kubota has one that I'm kind of interested in maybe later on at the ranch. It's a bigger machine with a diesel motor with hydraulic dump bed. Has a true 6-foot bed on it and hydraulic dump, about 1,100 pounds. But it's about $18,000 from that. And then the other one was a Kubota, was a Ranger they had for 13.4, and another little Kubota. It's a Kubota that's 11,236 in your quotes. It's like a golf cart. It's a little bit smaller than your regular ATV. It's like a 2-seater kind of deal. It's kind of like a golf cart size. It's a little beefier than a golf cart, obviously, and everything. But that's what that means. But then the spray ones and the nozzles and stuff and so forth. But we'll take no action on item O today, and I'll visit with the fire chief on getting that. And then I'll wear out rigging up the spray system stuff in it for it. All right, discussion approved the sale of the 68 Crown fire truck in the sheriff's office online vehicle auction on November the 16th. As you know, we put it out for sealed bids. We received no bids on it. That's the Sparky, the fire truck, the ladder truck. Sitting over at maintenance yard. We received no bids. So our action item today would be to authorize the county to sell it through the online vehicle auction on November 16th.
We want to put a minimum on it or?
It's up to y'all. It's up, I mean, I don't know. What do we pay for it?
Years ago. Oh, yeah, it's been a number of years ago. I think it was 7,500.
What do you want to put up? That's been amended. You want to amend your motion or amend the motion by
Well,
putting a minimum?
I just thought now was the time if.
I don't know what the minimum.
What's it worth?
Yeah, what's the word? I would just see somebody buying it as an antique, as like their museum deal or like a restaurant display thing, you know.
It runs, yeah. But, yeah.
I don't see it going back into use like like we used to like help work around here and stuff and the clock tower and stuff forth like that and everything. So, but oh, it's already being advertised. And it does have a bid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's already being advertised.
On the online auction.
There's already a bid on it.
So what if y'all voted no? I mean,
Take it off the auction.
yeah.
Take it offline. I mean, we can still put a minimum on it. Just say rate, reserve not met. I don't see why we couldn't say that on that.
Shouldn't we put that on
We did
the
do that up front.
beginning?
Well,
We should put
we should have.
the minimum on there in the beginning. And the reserve bid should be off there.
Okay.
And this way they don't have to buy guns off. Reserve.
All right. They already got it online, so I guess we're not gonna put a minimum on it. Okay. All right.
So you
You wanna approve it or just, you wanna, well, we can vote no. Take it offline, put it back on here for the, I don't know when the next auction's gonna be though.
It's on, leave it on.
So we make a motion to keep it on and go.
Yeah, it'll be the 16th. All right, motion made to approve it to be sold in the online auction by Commissioner Dodd. Seconded by. Second. Commissioner Fair. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right. 4Q this morning is approved, discuss, and approve, disapprove payment to Belding Roofing in the amount of $108,485 for the new roof on the OLS Pearson building. Payment can be made from OLS grant funds. And then the invoice is in your on your iPad. This is the corrected invoice. Correct?
Yes. The gutters have been fabricated. They haven't been actually installed. There's 4 gutters. They had made an error on the first bill by quoting 6 gutters. And I got a hold of them and said, no, there's only 4. So they corrected that. And the total dollar amount is the 108,485. But I want to be clear about, the status of that. And of course, we have budgeted under OLS 114,112 for the roof. But if you want to approve this to be paid upon completion, I don't think there's any problem. It is the gutters. We had a good rain, and thank you for that. to test the roof. And there were no leaks.
Good.
Uh,
It all ran off the hole. We didn't puddle too bad anywhere.
Drains to the back. And so that's the status of the project. So that's all that's lacking on that. But if you'd be more comfortable with that, to approve it to be paid upon completion, that's fine with me.
They say we're gonna be finished. When will they be done?
Oh, I think they may be over there today, but they've already fabricated. They call them collectors, I call them gutters, but anyway, yeah.
And it's just a downspout, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, second. All right. Okay, go ahead and authorize payment today, or you want me to you want to modify your motion to say upon completion? Completion. All right, motion is made by Commissioner Barrett, seconded by Commissioner Dobson to be paid upon completion. Okay. Which could possibly be this week, or it is this week. Yes, ma'am.
We've already, during September, I filed and we've already received $104,112,112 of that amount.
Okay.
Their original invoice was for 104,112. So this month I will follow the difference between the 108,485 and 104,112. So part of it's already here.
All right, so the motion is on to pay roofing building roofing, $108,485 upon completion. And that'll be the installation of the downspouts and the gutters and stuff. Commissioner Wood said they're finished and completed. They just haven't installed them yet. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. All right. Discuss and approve proposal in the amount of $20,000 from Pedro Valdez for the fire safety engineering drawings for the OLS Peterson building. We have an invoice or an estimate here for Martinez Mechanical, fire suppression drawings and fire alarm design drawings. Fire suppression is $11,000, fire alarm is $9,000 for a total of $20,000.
This is, of course, required for the building. It is a professional service, which is not covered under OLS. But nevertheless, we do have need for the fire suppression drawings and the fire alarm design drawings. Mr. Valdez, of course, is the engineer. He's the electrical engineer, the mechanical engineer, and the fire suppression. Obviously, he is qualified and certified to prepare the drawings, and of course, all of his work will be under his supervision. He does work with, to clarify why this is under Martinez Mechanical, is that he works in tandem with them on these projects. So any question on that one? We employed his services from the outset for the electrical and mechanical engineering, mechanical including air conditioning and heating, the plumbing, and so when we began to think about the needs for this as well, he was able to furnish his services to prepare this particular item as well with regards to fire suppression, fire alarm.
Okay, and this will be paid upon completion. Okay, and it's going to be a bill to us from Pedro Valdez, or it's going to be billed to us from Martinez Mechanical.
I assume this part would be from Martinez Mechanical.
Okay, so let's strike our.
He submitted the proposal, and he will do all of the preparation and engineering for it. And they are two separate systems. What we want to be, I guess you'd say, with these, having learned from the experiences at the detention center is that a local, and when I say local, I'm sure it'll be as far away as San Antonio, but we do need to have a firm that will service what they install. And again, we ran into that at the detention center a few years ago. That it was difficult to get the installer of both of those systems to return to service them. So that's all. I had just to add that.
Okay, let's have our motion to read in proposal in the amount of $20,000 from Martinez Mechanical, Pedro Valdez, for the fire safety engineer drawings for the OLS Pearson building.
It would be out of our building maintenance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so moved. So moved by Commissioner Dotson. Second by Commissioner Fair. Funds from building. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. All right, discuss and approve submission of invoices to OLS related to the construction of OLS auxiliary Pearson building.
You have a handout which has been prepared to show those particular invoices, and I invite Carla's participation in any of this that you would like to participate in. The list of them is here. I think the total is 712,000. So Carla,
Right, the majority of that has already been collected. The only ones that haven't been collected is for the electrical and the HVAC. And those will be given to me this week, or I think you gave them to me last week. There's 155,000 in one category and 145 in the other category that I'll be filing for in the grant FSR this month, next week, so that is closed out. So those are the two budget line. Everything else has been collected. The windows, the doors, the plumbing, for D&D hardware, painting, the texturing, all of that money has already been given to the county. That has already been reimbursed. I believe it was in the financial status report I submitted in September. So that money is here.
Okay.
And the other invoices, everything under OLS has already been approved by the state in order for us to do any of this. When we get the grant, anything that has to be moved to, or that we request be moved to a different budget line item, always has to go to the state for their approval. I have no authority, no one here has authority just to say we want something else, we move it. We can request it be moved. In 3 years, we've only had one item that was denied, and I think it was about $2,000, maybe $4,000, which really was not OLS related. But the total amount in that category of construction, we were able to get out of the last grant, I believe, I want to say it's 720,000, might be 720 or 702. But all invoices other than those two have been submitted.
and of course, just as a reminder, the reason for the delay in the electrical and the air conditioning and heating is we did not adopt a floor plan, and until towards the end of the time period, and I think we're real close. Passed it out earlier, the floor plan, and I think we're real close to being comfortable with that. And they are working now. They being the electrical engineer, who is also a mechanical engineer, on the plan for the air conditioning, heating, and electrical, and the architect is working with him to complete that. Then we'll have to go out for bid. And of course, to clarify again, this grant is, of course, designed to augment and not to cover 100% of all of our expenses that we might incur there. It's to be a benefit. And as Carlos mentioned before, some of the expenses we're going to have to cover, such as professional, and those particular what we describe as costs that are over and above what was budgeted under OLS will have to come out of our county building maintenance account. And we understood that from the beginning. But just as a reminder, I wanted to revisit that.
At the beginning of our grant last year, we were given $300,000 for an auxiliary building. That's what started all of this, was the plan to get a mobile auxiliary building that would be sitting over here by the sheriff's office or the courthouse. That did not happen. And throughout the year, as money was freed up in other accounts where we didn't use all of the funds from vacancies, we were able to request that money be moved to the construction budget line item. And as long as it supports OLS, which we can justify at OLS because anybody going into that building will be related to OLS, which will be the sheriff's office, attorney's office, other individuals. But as long as it relates to OLS, the state approved that. That's how we were able to get $700,000, a little over $700,000 from the 300. So I moved over 400,000 under that category. I didn't personally move it, but the state
They
approved.
approved it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If I may, of those particular costs, those invoices, what's in progress is the plumbing. And we have a quote, and this particular quote is from Joe's Plumbing in Uvalde. And it is to remove the existing plumbing, the old plumbing, and to do the rough in. At the time, that we began to put all this together, we didn't even have an idea of basically how many restrooms, but we were able to finalize that, and that is their price for removal of the old plumbing and the rough in without fixtures of the new plumbing. The other, we talked about the next item, which is the roof. We've already talked about that. In progress is the materials from EJ Moore. And we've gone on that material wise, and we'll continue to. I'll update you on that in just a minute. The stonemason labor was an early estimate. It's in progress. We should be wrapping that up in the next couple of weeks. And the last item there for the windows and doors all across the front. And that one is in progress as well. So it's coming together slowly, but we're getting there.
All right. Thanks, Kate. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the submission of invoices to OLS related to the construction of OLS Pearson as presented. Really, the only two here is the air conditioning, HVAC, and electrical. Those are the only two that were. Everything else has already been approved in progress. All right, we'll entertain the. What?
I'm need to abstain then.
No, because it's with it. No, you don't, because everything else is in progress or fixing to be finished or whatever as far as. Okay. So this is this list that the commissioner will provide this morning, which is going to be like an update of the different uses of the funds for OLS that we were allocating. And then the only two that need to be approved basically this morning, then there's the invoices for the estimate of the HVAC and electrical this morning. Morning, Mr. Pablo. We're on item S. Is where we're at. So I entertain a motion to approve the invoices. Item S, OLS related to the construction of the OLS auxiliary Pearson building.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dodson, seconded by Commissioner Barrett. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried for. Note that Commissioner Montalvo joined us at 10:25.
Judge, just to add to this, I do have two proposals to frame the interior walls.
Oh, okay.
And the architect has given us permission to do half, which would represent that area that is for the 911 dispatch.
Secured kind of stuff.
Mhm. And the boundary on it would be the hallway on the law enforcement side. As you remember, we've divided it, general public on one side and then law enforcement exclusively, unless accompanied by them, the general public would not enter on facing from the front to the rear, the right-hand side. So from that divider point, would be in between the divider and the hallway would be basically the largest occupant would be dispatch 911. We do have contact with T-Mobile, AT&T, and Forrest Anderson is coordinating the installation of the radios. And they're ready to come in and do the pre-wire as soon as the walls are framed up. And then they do have a need for an antenna. And they want to talk to us about where on the property that they could install an antenna. So that's kind of what I have in the way as an update there.
All right. And we'll move items P, item U, to executive session. This morning, items 4T and 4U to move to executive, and then we'll proceed to 4B this morning. Discuss, approve, authorize the county auditor to release checks, designated contractors on Fridays to be ratified in the next commissioner's court. Current contract can include, supposed to be Jose Guevara, I believe. Instead of Joe. Jose Guevara, Sergio Cavalla, Santos Rivas, Susana Flores, and Pete Benitez. And out of this, we can strike Santos Rivas because he's no longer working for but this is what we're talking about, paying these contractors every week on Friday when they submit or we approve a bid, like the Mason guys would approve, say, hey, we're gonna pay, it's gonna take them about 6 weeks, so we approve, divided their estimate by 6, they have 6 weeks over time. But this just authorizes her, gives her setting up this, and authorizes the auditor to pay these folks without us having to approve the release of the funds. And every Friday or something like that, kind of, it's a safety net to say, hey, we're okay with paying these folks, we'll ratify it, approve the bills at the next commission court. All other bills will remain on that cycle, like, hey, we're gonna approve them. We have our little short list of vendors that we pay to keep them avoiding late fees and stuff. But this would be a contract list, like a 1099 contract list. And on that list currently, like say the Jose Guevara, Sergio Calvillo, Susana Flores, and Pete Benitez. So entertain any questions there, any questions for the auditor this morning on that one? She visited with us about that a little bit last commission's court, and so we're just approving this. And then as we get a bid or we get an estimate from somebody, then we can, along with that motion, we can say this will be a weekly paid or something like that as we go forth with whatever the case may be on those outside 1099. Small projects and stuff. So moved on by Commissioner Farragut, second by Commissioner Pavo. Any further discussion, Ms. Jones, do you have anything to add? Any further discussion on this one? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carried. Nancy, 5-0. 4W this morning, discuss and approve, authorize the county treasurer to release the county payroll on designated pay days for 2024-2025 fiscal year bi-weekly on Fridays and on days other than routine days and holidays or other events for preclude processing on the regular days. And do you have a calendar of these paid days? Bi-weekly pays and stuff? Item W, 4W? We don't have anything.
Yes, let me.
Let's skip 4W right quick, go to X. Discuss and approve, authorize the county auditor to release checks for sheriff's transport as needed, with payment to be ratified at next commissioner's court. And this is to pay the transport company that we use to haul prisoners.
No, not
company, because they send us a bill.
This is our
This is
employee.
the employee, because there's not always enough notice for it to make it through the process of our criminal commissioner's court. So this allows us to go ahead and get that money for transport and then ratify it.
Okay. This is what we're using our,
I know it doesn't happen a lot.
deputies or deputies off duty. The sheriff's called to ask to transport somebody to Medina or go get somebody, something like that. If there's an off duty deputy or something like that, to reimburse them and stuff. So I entertain a motion to approve the item H this morning. So moved by Commissioner Dobson, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried unanimously. All right, why this morning is review, discuss the BRIC meeting minutes to review priority projects. Miss Alma, Miss Candy. Or why this morning, the BRIC.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I think y'all have a copy of the minutes.
Yes.
So these were from back in June of 2023, when we met as a committee that included the mayor, the manager then, Mr. Peterson at the fort, Commissioner Dodson, Carolyn Conley, Commissioner Ward, Alma, myself, and Mr. Garcia at the time. And so we talked about, as we worked through Lost Horse Creek, trying to get funding, get prepared for having funding or applying for funding. What do we need to do to get ready for that? And in our meeting, we talked about prioritizing projects to submit to Commissioner's Court. We wanted to request the final survey from the hydrologist, which we got. He's already submitted that to us and we reviewed it. The city, we suggested that the city hold a cleanup along the creek because there is a lot of debris in the creek bed. That was another thing. The creek channel needs to be cleaned up within the city of Bracketville, as well as on downriver too. But the projects, the phases that were suggested by that committee were the work would start, and we've talked about this, the work would start downstream. The Fort Clark channel would need to be cleaned out from Highway 90 to this Highway 90 at the Springs to Fort Clark Springs property line. To prepare for the amount of water that would flow once the channel project in the city of Brackettville is complete. So this is, we labeled that phase 1 and phase 2. Simultaneously work on utilities preliminary so that the channel is ready for upstream work on the north side of Highway 90 to east and west dams on Highway 64. So cleaning out, having that cleaned out, ready to do utilities work. I think all of the crossings, the low water crossings along the creek in the city of Brackettville had utilities that run beside them. And that was a big concern that those would need to be ready for other work, the creek work after that. So that was something that was suggested, was to get all of that in place and then be ready for the creek work itself. And then phase 2, project to update Lost Morse Creek channel in the city of Brackettville below the dams, the east and west dams from 674 to 90. And then review information from Mr. Barker to prioritize any other projects that may need to be included in funding. So these are just recommendations from our BRIC committee. We met several times. We talked about the things that we felt like, needed to happen for the communities and getting the creek in shape, I guess would be a great way to put it. So down below that, where we phased them, we also talked about some other projects that from Mr. Barker's information that, probably needed to be included in funding. His suggestions included his reasoning, his thinking on the flooding was that the effects of Lindsay Creek, where the water overflows Lindsay Creek and comes into the city of Brackettville, is the main problem with our flooding, especially on the east side of the city. Along with the cleanup efforts and grading of the channel, his recommendations include the dams and other drainage. We're working with artificially low rainfall data. That was one of the reasons he cited that we need to raise the dams up above town, that the information that they used back in 1950, whenever those dams were constructed, was lower than what it should have been. So raising the dam tops, create a retention pond down below the west dam, update the Spring Street Bridge, and we would have to do that with TxDOT, because that is a state road. Overbanked edges with a linear pond on Fort Clark, drop structure, a weir dam to maintain creek flow. That was up at Fort Clark. It's needed as a control structure designed to pass water. Another suggestion he had was to remove the Travis Street crossing. It has two culverts that cause a bottleneck. He also suggested a grass line channel along Highway 131. The Scales Road Bridge has cement obstructions that have been installed there that restrict the flow of the creek. And he says those should be removed. I don't believe there are any permits for that restriction to be in place as well. That was from Mr. Peterson. Recommended not to complete and share information with FEMA until all projects are completed. So this would give us a floodplain map. But Mr. Dirksen suggested that we have all of our updates in place before we share with FEMA, so that the information is finished and accurate when we send it to them. So those are all the things that Mr. Dirksen and Mr. Barker, the engineers, suggested that be projects that we would work on for Lost Morris Creek. So if y'all would like to give us suggestions on what to prioritize, where do we want to get started? We want to start looking for funding. Do you have questions, suggestions? Do you want us to do something different? What do we want to do to get this?
A suggestion that I would have would be that we encompass the watershed dams into our thinking, perhaps application. We've just recently received an inspection report on them, and there is some needed improvements
Oh, yes. Okay.
on them.
Mhm.
And so we do have that from NRCS. And that inspection was performed a little over a year ago. And Commissioner Montalvo and I went out to meet with the two ladies that did the inspection, and they were there a number of days. But anyway, we do have that report on what is needed there. In addition, I think we need to think about the ownership. I know there's easements that are confusing, and it would be an appropriate time to, in my opinion, to kind of clean up and clear up the ownership of the spillways
Mhm.
and the downstream drainage, of course. And then I would think that, as you mentioned, going through town, where the creek goes through town, all the way to the Highway 90 bridge. And my suggestion is that others may have, but I think that would be appropriate for us to devote time and effort to that.
Okay.
Look into somehow some funding for moving the utilities in the city easements.
So. Yes, we definitely need to do that. And the city is on board for working on any of these projects within, the city limits.
We talked about raising the bridges or something like that, but we have to do something with the utilities.
Right, right. And I was gonna say too, with the NRCS, that our dams are listed as high hazard. That doesn't mean that the dams are in bad shape. They're not. That just means if we were to have a flooding event, that there would be a major loss of life and property just because of where they are. That they're just right on the edge of town, and if we had flooding, there would be possible loss of life and property.
And
So-
they are rated high hazard.
They are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's, that's even more inducement to, try to, focus in on their recommended improvements.
So when Alma and I visited with the NRCS, we went to one of their meetings, and the ladies were there that did the work for updating them. So would they be facilitating the work that would happen there, or is that something we would need to work with them to include? Or
We should include them. To what extent they would be able to participate, I don't know, but I would certainly include them, in my opinion.
I mean, we have to, because they're
Yes.
from what they told us,
Yeah.
they're pretty much in charge of the dams.
Yeah. Right.
So there was a grant opportunity. There was a grant that was due a couple of months ago. And so we were preparing for that grant when we decided to call Ms. Clarissa with that NRCS here at the extension office. And she immediately said, we need to talk. And that's when we went and presented to the board. And they said, whatever you do with the dams has to come through us first. And so I think if we present an idea to them, but we didn't hear that the dams needed.
Right. We didn't, they didn't tell us that at the time.
Needed improvement.
Right.
Yeah, we got the report. I think the majority of it was brush control. And then
Okay.
it was to basically bring some topsoil to put on top. There's been an erosion over 60 years now,
Uh-huh.
and in different areas, and generally over the whole thing. And in order to get a turf reestablished, they wanted us to put some soil, and the only way to do that would be start on top and then just let it blade off to the sides.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, and of course, that was one of the things that Mr. Barker suggested as well, the hydrologist, was to raise the height of the dams. So maybe we can work with them to get started on that.
in that report was contained the elevations of the dams on top. And obviously, methods have changed in 60 years on how
Right.
you measure the height, but they had, of course, they had their satellite equipment, and they were, basically trying to determine over 60 years how much height had been lost. And some, obviously it has been lost. I don't remember how much, honestly, just
Right.
that they came up with that had eroded, but yeah. But all of that is, a good narrative for a grant application, the meetings and that report that they generated.
Mhm. Well, and if we have that information from them, plus what we have from the hydrologist, that should be, good data for us to use when we apply for grants.
The fencing is not real good, most of it. And, now would be the time to address that as well. And it is basically on the the property lines of the easements and sometimes not real well defined. And they're those overflow berms that are out that contain the spillway and keep it from what I've described circling back and eroding the structure itself.
Mhm.
Those berms below on the downstream side.
Mhm.
So, um, there's a lot to do there.
Right, right. Okay, so I think this item was just reviewing these minutes and kind of thinking about which way do we want to go on the next item as far as making some priorities. Is that correct?
Yeah, item Z. Z, discuss and review possible action to prioritize flood mitigation projects in Kinney County.
So I think we have an idea of how you would like for us to prioritize those projects. We do have 2 TDM grants that are coming up, and so we'll come back to you with a specific project that you might uh, want to approve so that we can submit with those applications. There's 2 TDM grant opportunities available at this time.
And they're still going up the ladder.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Moving
So-
slowly.
slowly,
Very slowly.
And the generators are
still there. Yes, sir.
All right, Y was this discussion only. Z. No action then, kind of just gonna take what we talked about here.
I think we'll come back with an action.
Sounds like
Once we
city,
come
city
back.
drainage, crossings, utilities, and dam work.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sir.
So 1, 2, 3, what do you need? You know, from us, what do we need to do to
You just,
prioritize or
well,
have any hearings to facilitate the application?
once we get into the application, then we'll come back
Mhm.
and get your approval, your resolution and all.
Do you need actual, I guess you'd say, action on the part of the court to say 1, 2, 3, we want to do these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know you've got a timeline you work with,
Mhm.
and the BRIC is coming around again.
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? Do we know more, Lynn?
That's great.
BRIC is usually due, I think, in December, isn't it? It's been a couple of years.
It's been a couple of years.
Since we've looked
We'll
at
have
it,
to
but
look at
yeah, I think it's December.
But we have an idea and we'll come back
Mhm.
and get your approval on submission of applications. Is that okay?
And I suppose you need a copy of that inspection report on the dam.
And we'll get that.
We'll get that from Clarissa. I'm sure she'll share that with us. Right.
Okay.
So you have city crossings, the utilities there.
Drainage, city drainage, crossings, utilities, easement ownerships, and the dam. And that's kind of,
The bridges at the crossings, first control, topsoil, raise the height of the
Yes.
dam.
Okay, we'll work on that.
okay.
Thank you.
So no action on item T this morning. Let's step back up to item W. The calendars, you have those in front of you, starting with October, fiscal year, running through next October, next September, I mean. The pay periods. I'll entertain a motion to approve the payroll of designated paydays for the 24-25 fiscal year bi-weekly and Fridays. W this morning. So moved by Commissioner Dotson. Second by Commissioner Fair. Any further discussion on the bi-weekly Friday payroll calendar presented by the treasurer? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, that being said, item AA this morning, we're going to executive session. A4AA. So that moves us to item 5, approve some minutes. We have minutes from October 15th, 2024 regular meeting and October 28th regular meeting. Motion for the October 15th. Motion made by Commissioner Ferrick, second by Commissioner Montalvo to approve the minutes. October 15th. Any further discussion? Amendments, changes to the minutes? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. On October 15th. Next item of the minutes is October 28th, regular meeting. Okay, on the letter F. Let me see here a minute. On letter F there on those minutes. It couldn't have been seconded by Dennis. Dawson if he abstained from it.
No, I didn't second that.
I'm sure you abstained from it, but
I do, yes. I don't know who seconded that.
And then it states a courthouse generator, that's really shouldn't have done. The same line.
oh, at the top, in the bottom is the community. The motion just says community, yeah.
The top.
Yeah.
I'll move in the minutes of October 28th, again, correct.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Montalvo, a second by Commissioner Craig to approve the minutes with the noted corrections for October 28th. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried unanimously. All right, departmental budget adjustments and review and amend for the 2024-2025 as needed, item 6. No adjustments. Item 7, approve the bills and disbursements after the Kinney County Detention Center.
Motion to pay the bills to be continued.
Motion made by Commissioner Dodson, second by Commissioner Parrott to pay the bills for the detention center. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Next is item 8, ratify and approve all claims, bills, including payroll for Kinney County budget 2024-2025. I have a motion from Commissioner Perry. Pay the bills, second by Commissioner Montalvo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried unanimously, noting that Commissioner Dotson abstained from B and D. All right. Number 9 is other county business. Couple things here I'll talk about. We're going to take a break, going to executive. Streets and parking lots, moving along, still lack the Civic Center and the JP parking lot. The gas line at the community center has been put in, tapped in deal. Working on that, getting that running upstairs and stuff. Electricity at the community center will be off today, possibly tomorrow. To work on dragging, cutting in, and doing all the electrical work for the generator. County Thanksgiving luncheon or countywide Thanksgiving luncheon will be this Thursday on the 14th at the community center. And I say probably from about 11:30 to 1:30 or so. So if you want to swing by and have lunch, huh? 12 to 2. Okay, I was correct. 12 to 2 county luncheon. And bring your significant others if you want to come by for lunch. Community Thanksgiving luncheon will be Thanksgiving Day. We'll do that again. Mark and Isabel Z's will be preparing a lot of that. My wife and her crew. So we'll have Thanksgiving Day luncheon at the community center Thanksgiving Day. Frontier Christmas is December the 14th. The stock show is January 10th and the 11th. And good luck to the band today. They marched this morning at state contest. Football has a game on Friday, their first playoff game on Friday at Harlandale Stadium in San Antonio.
You know who's it against?
Burton. Pool, talking to Polo about the pool. Probably gonna have to drain the pool and like wash the pool, rethink the pool to get the green, because the green apparently, the water's fairly clean, but the green is the algae mold on the wall. That's about it on my list, just to kind of throw things out there, what's on the horizon. Next week, a lot of the courthouse will be out for LGS training, the clerk's office, the county attorney's office, in my office, and the court coordinators. I will be out next week as well at the College Station for the judicial seminar. Burn ban. What do you want to do with the burn ban? Leave it on when you feel comfortable lifting it. We got a lot of fuel. We're not going to green up with our cool nights there. We're not going to green all that dry. The bottoms of the green up, but the tops, we're not going to replenish the whole thing. So do you want to leave the burn ban on, or do you want to take it off? And that's my call if we take it off. But I mean, I'm just thought I'd throw it out there. Like, how are you looking? I mean, we're excited. We got the rain. We got a little bit of fresh green coming here. Cool days that help the moisture hang around a little bit longer. So do you feel comfortable enough with lifting the burn ban and seeing, or do you want to leave the burn ban intact? I'm 50-50. I really am. Got a little fresh green, but still got a lot of dry tops in some places and stuff where we got the rolling good with the wind and stuff. And next week we're supposed to be fairly cool, but the wind is supposed to be 20, 30 mile an hour next week.
I should leave it on.
Okay, that's not a problem. I can do that. But I just had that on my. I had 2 people asked me about it, and I said, we'll talk about it at Commissioner's Court, whether we want to lift it or not. All right, that's it.
Hey, what do you got? Operator for the road and bridge? What's your guy asked about that.
30 what? 38.
30.
Anybody have anything else? We'll take a little break. In executive session, and coming out of executive session will be items 4T, 4U, and 4AA. So we'll call it 11:15. Nobody have anything else? We'll go to recess at 11:15. We'll take a quick 10-minute break. 10-minute break. So you can start executive session.
Run.